Hello, my name is Jason Christensen, and the title of this video is How to Draw and Paint Without Training, an Intuitive Approach. Video is intended for people who are right-brained abstract thinkers, for those who are artistically inclined but not artistically trained. And I'll show you momentarily some of my artwork. My style, I guess, had its origin in this game my sister thought up once where we would just start drawing a line along and not really thinking of it, just kind of letting it meander its way around, which I guess you could call a form of doodling, and then it sort of evolved from that point. Again, this is for abstract thinkers, so abstract thinkers are more inclined to paint and draw abstractly. So the genre in which I paint and draw is abstract expressionism. I think for people like me, it feels like a bit of a safe zone. If you take the example of Jackson Pollock and the type of painting that he did, it really is safe from criticism. You can criticize it, but it's not in comparison to anything really. It's not really a style I like, but I'm making a point of an extreme abstract expressionist. So versus when somebody paints something, a concrete image like a mountain range. Well, first of all, whether it's good or bad, I guess that's the abstract thinker in me. Personally, I don't like that type of artwork because I think anything that you recreate an image of that actually exists in nature is going to be secondary to the beauty of the actual mountains. So why not instead tap into human imagination, this wellspring of creativity, the ability for to express complex abstract thought that moves, but it's not overly defined. So I'll start with some of these in no particular order. So this was the cover of I used for my book of creative writing. It's called Baby Loves Magic. But I can see here, you can see sort of the line work that I was talking about. Here, there is background, you say like shading, and so you could take larger sections of color and put them together. As that makes sense compositionally, to start with this kind of background in areas of color. It's not always successful. Part of being self-trained is it's experimental. Sometimes it succeeds and sometimes it doesn't. Here's something similar from around the same time in my life. I can see things that I don't like about this, but imagistically, I like it. It has that feeling of a dreamscape, even though there is a lack of, depth and dimension here, but it's still acceptable. This one's a little more concrete. But the point is, you could say, well, I don't see how you're just starting with the line and going, well, it is kind of there. I mean, there is more use of color, but I guess the point is it's the imagination allowed to wander, to explore, to be relaxed. I mean, you have to have some sort of confidence and trust in the power of the imagination without necessarily being restricted toward, a certain preconceived idea or plan of what's to be created. That's how most of what I paint and draw comes about. This one is called Pompeii, as in the volcano, or the town that was covered by after the explosion of a volcano. right? I mean, if it peel, the point is it should appeal on some visceral level. It's impressionistic. This one is a bit different. It's called Death is in the Details. I like this one. I like the fact that it's a little different than some of the others. It's very abstract. So this one, it's okay. A Million Sunsets. I like it. I like it. So I mean, that's my basis of whether I share or not. This one was called The First Day of Summer. I painted that when I was living in Warsaw, Poland. I apologize that it's laminated. I just, at that time in my life, thought it'd be a good idea to preserve it. This one I really like too. This one is, Lauren and Her Suitors. So this is a painting of someone I went to college with. I told her when I saw her at a reunion, I said, I paint, and she asked, well, what do you paint? I said, well, for one thing, I painted you, and I think I kind of freaked her out a little bit. I did send her a copy of it, or emailed it in a digital reproduction, and so you can see it's really not that sketchy. You can't even see where she is, but I like it. This was one of the last ones I painted before the pandemic, at which point I just sort of hung it up. But this is the most recent one I've done. It's called Dementia Ward. I actually like how this turned out too. This is in colored pencil. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. So I guess now is the point where you defend what you've done, but I don't know. I don't think it's really necessary. It shouldn't be. If you're going to start experimenting and finally get over the hang up that, I never studied art, I was never taught how to paint or write, just get over it and don't worry about critics. There'll be people who like it. I'm sure there are people who have looked at who are watching this video and think some of them I like more than others, and that's how I feel about it too. But I will say one suggestion I have is write when you're in a good, or paint or draw, create when you're in a good frame of mind. You don't feel like it needs to be disciplined and at certain time. I mean, you feel that creativity wanting to come out. Personally, I feel like you should create when you feel good, and the result will be better. Don't try to dig yourself out of a dark space by creating, because it's really not going to be as appealing. So trust the process. Don't try to navigate. Again, tap into the wellspring of human imagination, propensity of the mind to create dreamscapes. And another thing I do that just kind of comes to me when I'm drawing is I will, once I start getting into it, I'll start seeing phases of its development, and I'll just sort of see what color belongs. I'll just kind of almost have a visualization of a color for a certain area. And again, it's all sort of emotional. Like, I'm an INFP personality type. We make decisions based on feelings. I mean, feelings dominate how we sort of interact with the world, how we respond. So I guess you could say it's very feeling based, energy based. I'll go back to this one. I like it too. I feel like there's enough art in the world that's just sort of ordinary, and you can see what it is. You could easily find flaws with any of these, but what I like is, I had an experience in the Hermitage in St. Petersburg, and I went specifically to look for a Vasily Kandinsky painting, or the gallery with his art. And I went there, and we didn't have a lot of time, but I stood there and just looked at his one painting of his for about 45 minutes. And it was a very pleasurable experience. That should be, I think that's where an artist is successful, if they can create something that will stop you in your tracks and make you look at it. So think that's about it. And but remember again, this is to encourage people who are artistically inclined but not artistically trained to find their own mode of self-expression. To don't even worry about a style, just do it. And not only that, it's like don't do it for a critic or to become popular. If it's good, do it. Try to that you want to do it, and you'll do it more often and be more productive. It's also very good for the brain. If you haven't done this, it's just to relax and allow your hand to move, and then you'll find that your memories are coming back. It's almost like how the mind is healing itself by dreaming. It's very therapeutic, and find that you'll have these memories that come to mind while you're drawing or painting that don't ordinarily surface in just normal day-to-day activities in the course of those. So I hope you've enjoyed the video.